Breathe a little bit of analog nostalgia into your digital photos, and let's do it with Zoner Studio. Howdy everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how you can make your digital photographs kind of replicate or look like a classic 35mm film, but let's get one thing straight first. Not every film is gonna behave in the same way. There are tons of different film stocks from various manufacturers, and each are gonna have their very own unique characteristics. So ideally, the best way to replicate the film look is to find a reference photo taken with a specific film, like Kodak Gold, and then try to match that look. And just like we do when we try to recreate color palettes from films or TV shows, we want to show you which tools to use to create something that's gonna be entirely your own iteration. Because even though each film looks different, the methods to get there are going to be the same, and you just might push one slider in the opposite direction. And we want to leave that part up to your creativity. But if you do want to see how we matched colors to reference photos we already did, we created a video on that already. You'll find it here, and also a link in the description. But now, let's get to it. So let's start with exposure. We're going to tweak this only slightly since film doesn't offer much flexibility in exposure. And I'll begin with the exposure slider. And in this case, let's bump it up a bit to brighten the photo. And if the photo were too bright, I'd pull it down instead. Next up is contrast, which I'll lower quite a bit because film usually gives us much lower contrast than the digital version. That's it for exposure. I'm not gonna mess around with it anymore because usually heavy exposure edits usually feel kind of unnatural for this kind of look. Now let's move on to another very important aspect, which is color. The key color tools we'll use are white balance, color shift, tone curve, and shift primary colors. Starting with white balance, I'll push the temperature slider just so it's a bit warmer, and the tint slightly towards green. This is gonna give us a greenish cast similar to what you'd see in some Fujifilm stocks. Now, from white balance, let's move on to the tone curve. I want to bring out that green tint in the shadows, so I'll switch to the green channel and add a point to the lower part of the curve and then nudge it upward slightly. If that makes the whole image a bit too green, I'll add another point higher up and then pull it down just a little bit. And already the colors are starting to feel more analog, but we're just getting started. Let's move to color shift. First, I'm gonna play around with the hue of individual colors, and again, we're aiming for that greenish vibe, so I'll shift orange and yellow a bit more towards green. I'll also shift green towards teal and blue too. Once the hues are set, I'll boost the saturation of the oranges and the blues. Then in luminance, I'll raise the blue almost all the way up. Now it's time for the final polish in the shift primary colors section. I'll unify the look a bit by shifting red, green, and blue hues slightly towards the lighter tones. That should do for the colors. Now let's give it a bit of that analog character, which Zoner Studio has plenty of tools to replicate that. The tools that'll help us here are add grain, glow, and halation. A classic feature of film is grain, caused by the actual physical film material itself. So let's start with that. I'm going to increase both the amount and the size of the grain. Next is halation, and this is a must for almost any analog photo. It's caused by light reflecting off of the film's base layer and bouncing back through the emulsion, creating a soft, colorful glow around bright edges. Next, let's increase the strength quite a bit and then slightly reduce the threshold. Finally, we'll add some glow. This usually comes from old lenses that aren't as sharp or well corrected as modern ones. So we'll carefully increase the strength and again, reduce the threshold just a bit. And there it is, a film look done and dusted. See for yourself, here's the before and after. Complete nostalgia. Now let's save the adjustments as a preset and we can try those out on some more photos. Let's open the presets panel, click the plus icon up here, create a new folder, and maybe we call it 35mm, and then name the preset something like, I don't know, Fuji-like. Now, if you're mimicking a specific film, just name it after that, and then hit OK. I'm gonna select a few more photos and apply the preset. And then from there, I'm just gonna tweak the exposure for each photo as needed. And that's it. It works pretty dang good. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a digital photograph look like it came out of an analog camera. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up and hit the notification bell as well so that you never miss another video from us. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good one. Ciao.